minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Fuck you, Westport!
What is up, everybody? We are back with a freaking live show today, and I'm stoked to see you all filing into chat already, throwing up the names. Oh man, Justin sneaking in, JMJ12, Stacy, Easy Grows It, Hog Fans, Terpopotamus, that's fun, Galaxy, good to see you guys, Main Dad, Thai Guys Grows, hi. That's a tongue twister, and I said that real quick, reading it off the top of my head, so I kind of feel impressed. Shout out to my man, John. What's up, bro? I got the new beans in the mail for you to test. You and I are going to be testing them simultaneously. Ty also has some of those, but that, you guys, we'll talk about that here. Today, it's Q&A. It's open, ask me anything. We're free to talk about a bunch of different subjects. One of those could be, what kind of genetics you have coming up. So yeah, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about a new show that I want to start on this channel. Maybe some of the things that we're going to be doing in the future here. A lot of exciting stuff, but you know me, I always like to give away beans because I want to get people growing with decent genetics. I'll say they're good. We'll just say decent. Some Westport posse. So I always like to, hook up the early bird. Early bird gets the worm, even though I'm one of those guys who used to have a hard time waking up before noon. In fairness, that's when I was DJing a lot. So work ended at like 2 a.m. in the morning. And then, of course, you have to wind down from that. And, you go to bed like 4 or 5 in the morning. I sleep the same 8 hours as everybody else, but now I wake up much earlier because I don't do that as my job anymore. So I'm a rocket scientist now. I do have a PhD. That may make me sound smart, but really it's just a pothead degree. That's what my PhD stands for. I don't know about yours, but that's what mine stands for. I got sidetracked. We were giving away beans. So, whoa. Hi, guy. You look familiar. You do too. Okay, that was a weird moment. And this is, again, guys, for US only. I do apologize, but that is how shipping works for right now. So US only. If you are interested in winning a pair of the Westport posse, just type "you rock" into chat, because that chat message obviously is inspired by you guys, because you rock. So Yeah, I appreciate that. And again, because I am a PhD rocket scientist, smart person, I use the letter instead of YOU. I don't know what that says, but good to see everybody in chat and you rocking. So the Westport Posse, if you had any questions on that, what that is that is actually an S1, so a selfed version of the Westport's Posse. Now, the Westport's Posse, of the Westport's grape juice. Westport's Posse is a S1 of the Westport's grape juice. And so that is what it comes from. And I hope I'm not glitching out here. I'm seeing now all of a sudden my internet is like, your bars are low, which is a little frustrating because I'm sitting right next to the darn modem. But yeah, if you want to win a pair of if you want to win a pack of the Westport Posse, there's more than 2 beans in here. Actually, on the website, this one, there are 15 feminized seeds that come with this. You get some good growing instructions, kind of what to expect. The phenos, I did a grow out report, so you can see that online. A lot of people have been growing them because now it's been released almost, I think April was the first drop of these. So we've been doing testers for over a year, but April was when the first drop of this went out. That sold out really quickly. That was the special shirt, stickers, beans deal we did with Daga. Let's see, I need to start paying attention to chat here. So yeah, that is me losing my place and doing a show all by myself. I swear, guys, I'm actually going to be organized and we have stuff to talk about. I'm going to start looking at chat for things that you guys want to talk about, though, because this is a Q&A. Chonky Nugs, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, so that chud outdoors is just a freaking monster. Like, it grows big, fat colas, baby arms, as they would say. So that is a good one. StreamYard changed my settings, man. Oh, there we go. Bubble. See, bubbles are easier for you guys to read, so I like to put bubbles up there. Giveaway. Yes, Anthony Rafferty, it's good to see you. I see you in a ton of chats. Gives away Fem Beans. I think there's, I don't know, because I packed the giveaways separately. But if you do order from the website, there's definitely 15 in the pack. All right, let me scroll and see if I have any questions. I'll give this just another second. We're at 79 right now, 80 right now. Maybe get to 85 and we'll start getting this rolling. I do have another pack of these that I'm going to give away today. I also do have a giveaway, which I haven't done this one for a while. I just opened the drawer and saw these in here. I need to still have some. So it's going to come with the Summer Bitch seeds, which is awesome. He has been a continual supporter of the show, giving out dozens and dozens of beans. This will come up later in the show. This was a tester regular that he had said, and what it is actually, it is a seed junkie male, purple punch times jungle cake, crossed with his special, it's called Dad Stuff from 1987. One of these days it will focus. All right. So, but also with that, as part of the package, we get the Duke Diamond Dominion Seed Co. Jeweler's Loop, which is kind of cool. Again, handy tool in the garden. It's got your different magnifications here, so you can get close up and inspect 30 times, 60 times, 90 times, inspect for bugs, inspect for PM, inspect your trichomes, and it's got a little LED light on there as well, and a black light, which helps you search for bug poop too. That is kind of a nice little hidden trick. If you guys aren't aware yet, black light, UV, will make kind of like bug poop, PM. That stuff will glow a neon color. So yeah, kind of a little trick there. I just saw a question pop up from JMJ. It says, opinion on finishing flower using 18.6 light cycle for the last few days. I personally have never tried it because I'm just going with what has been established. Now, what is that going to do for you? What are you trying to accomplish in those last few days? And what is actually accomplishable in the last few days? Potentially, it may be to add biomass. Okay. I don't know how much you're going to gain in the last few days. The last few weeks, I've heard a person toss around before. That's going to be highly strain dependent. You might find one or two that it works for, but it's not going to work well for the majority of them. My kind of concern, just thinking about the 18-6 light cycle, because we know so flowering 12-12 for the most part. That is kind of the standard 12-12 for the flowering. 18-6 is more of a veg cycle. And we know about re-vegging, which is you can take a flowering plant and transition it back to the vegetative state by changing the light cycle. Great if you forgot to take clones, or it smells like the most fantastic plant in the world. It grew great and you're like, we really need to keep that. Re-vegging works. And again, you flip the light cycle to do that. So in the last few days, I don't think it's going to cause much of a hormonal shift or a misdirection of the hormones. But if you're going for a couple weeks, which I have heard people say before, I would be curious about how that is reprioritizing the plant's energy, because really those last couple of weeks, we're adding biomass, but we're also adding cannabinoids, those trichomes, they're maturing. And I'd want all of the plant's attention focused on that task. So going the last few weeks, I don't think that would be necessarily be beneficial. But again, finishing flower, directly to your question, opinion of finishing flower using 18-6 light cycle for the last few days. I don't know what benefit would come through it. I like my 12-12, and actually, if I can, if time permits me, I will do a 24 hours of darkness. So that is what I am trying to get to there to answer your question. Let's see here. The 18-hour, let's see. Justin Kuhn says, the 18th hour, last 10 days, I've liked it. Okay. What are you seeing that's improved, or what is different from like the 12-12 cycle? And has it been universal for all of the strains that you've tried, or is it just a couple specific ones? Because again, there's some freaky leaks out there, man. There's some freaks, they like weird stuff and they do well under weird stuff. The No Joke is an example of it. It just, dude, John tried to kill it with heat, 120 regularly. Survived. It thrived. So that was a freaky one. One more, and then we'll give away this first set of beans for everybody. Does the Westport grape juice run good outdoors? That plant itself has not been run outdoors, but yes, the Westport's posses, absolutely. Westport posse has been run outdoors. They run very well. I have a couple pictures on the desktop of my other computer, darn it. Otherwise, I would pull them up, from people who have grown them and then sent me their pics this past season. And I'm pretty dang impressed. It's kind of funny when you see someone grow a plant that you're familiar with, that you've had a hand in creating, grow it bigger than you've ever grown it yourself, which is some of those outdoor pictures that I've got. So that's fun. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, absolutely does well outdoors. Another really big thing about kind of the Westport grape juice itself is pretty PM resistant, and it has been passing it on. Like the No Joke, I had a friend running about 10 different breeders and running that in the middle of like a squash pumpkin patch in Washington. Now, everything had PM except for the No Joke, and I forget which strain it was, but it was by Crockito. So DNA Genetics, Crockett Family Farms, Crockito. Me and him, our genetics were the only ones that didn't get hit by it. So that's a plus for outdoors, particularly in this Pacific Northwest. So let's go ahead and we'll give away, you guys rock, we're over 105 right now. The first pack of the Westport Posse, we will give away a couple of these and that other pack with the jeweler's loop that I mentioned earlier during the show. Good luck, everybody. Again, US only would be appreciated. Moss, I see you in chat frequently. You're here today. Good looking brother. Let me find an empty dang page on my notebook here. Moss, you are getting the Westport Posse. So congratulations, buddy. And all right. I'll take that off the screen. I'll remove that now. And yeah, good luck. Everybody, those are always fun. And I always like to give beans out because that's how you get growing. Good genetics is a great way to start. Let's see here. What did I have? All right. Oh, I want to say, and I want to shout out too. Thanks everybody for all of the support of going over and watching the episode I did with James Loud on the James Loud podcast channel. That was freaking awesome. That was huge for me. That is a guy that, I've learned a lot from, particularly with breeding. So it was cool to, after years of like knowing the person online, kind of interacting online, actually having like personal conversations online, behind the scenes, to get to actually meet the dang guy. So I went down there. I do have a tour of his facility up on the YouTube channel. If you want to check out what a professional operation looks like, you can check that out. But I just wanted to say, thanks everybody for coming over and making that, a fun chat to be a part of, an episode that was received really well. So I appreciate that. Thank you guys. And yeah, Adam, the blooper at the end of the show. There is an Easter egg. So I don't know if everybody watched it all the way through the end. They do the credits and then there's the little Easter egg. At one point, so in the middle of the interview, James is like, hey, you want to smoke? And we had already been smoking. He says, hey, let's smoke. I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And he had this joint. He rolls 3.5 gram joints just to start with that. It was permanent midnight, which is actually something that he has bred, something that is up on his website, something that I'm going to be plunking down my money for. And yeah, we got really, really freaking baked. Like, I don't even think we smoked half of it. We were talking, we were drifting. He kind of just like put it out of like mercy for both of us. But if you watched all the way to the end, there's a pretty good Easter egg there where we just went off script. He was pretty high. I was pretty high too. Yeah. Oh, whoops, rocket ship. Hey, Andy, good to see you, buddy. I was trying to highlight this one, though. Hillbilly Herb, the James Loud pinners. Yeah, big pinners. Let's see. I'm just reading what about Bob's question here. And chat, you guys are getting a lot of really smart people, and this is why the community rocks, because we're able to help each other. It says, any big home stores sell a lime without magnesium? Looking for a smallish bag of calcitic lime or oyster shell powder. All I see is dolomite lime for a garden, or a garden lime with magnesium. And again, that's kind of stuff that can help buffer and adjust the pH of the soil. He's kind of onto it there as far as mentioning the powder. Powder is better. It takes less time to break down versus the chunky type of stuff. So yeah, not bad. Anybody help him out if he's in chat? And David here says he chopped the chemsicle from Wicked that he won on this show last year. Ran outdoors, started an orange, very nice chunky buds, frosty as F. Smells great. Thank you. And thank you for the feedback. And I think Broken Scepter is in here. I think I saw him in chat earlier, or G Scepter. He hooked those up. He reached out. He said, hey, man, I got a bunch of beans that I want to help get out to the community. And so he sent me a bag full of different breeders, and Wicked Genetics was one of them. So, of course, I was happy to get those out on the show. And I got another big bag, too. I don't have it in here right now, but we gave away some of his genetics last show, the AZ Desert Genetics. That will be coming up, dude. He sent me some freak shows. He sent me Mendo Mendo Perp F2, I believe, times the pineapple Thai, and then I think another just pineapple Thai. So keep your eyes on this space because we'll be giving those away here in the future as well. Something we always love to do on the show. But yeah, thank you for the feedback because I like to hear that. The beans that I give away on the show, I really try to get good examples, or I try to vet where they're coming from, because there's a lot of people in this community that are awesome and they're like, hey man, I'll give you some beans to give away, which is nice. But I also want to make sure that they kind of have been run before, that they have been tested. It's not really necessarily an unknown, or, it's coming from a breeder who's got, like solid genetics that they're working with, that they're putting together. Because again, that's important, especially for me with my own genetics. Like I try to go above and beyond to make sure that they're good. But I also do the same with other people's genetics for the same core principle of, with home growers, with medicinal patients, we may be limited to 4 plants or 6 plants. And if one of those turns out to be a problem, if one of those turns out to be something unexpected, it can significantly reduce your yield, even if you just have to pull it. Let's say it didn't, worst case scenario is something would herm and it would seed everything. Still smokable, take the seeds out, but, it's far from ideal, right? So even that's kind of like a worst case scenario. But even if it's just like a mutant or a runt or something, you might want to clip that, because sometimes when plants get behind, then you have to water it special, you have to mix nutrients for it special. But to my point is, I try to make sure that everything I give away here, whether it's from myself or other people, that it's solid, that people are going to have a good experience. They're not going to waste their time. They're not going to be like, geez, three months and all that of my life just for this. So yeah, thank you, David, for giving me that feedback on those wicked genetics. And I've gotten some good feedback from other people as well, which again helps me, because that just helps me vet people too. And people, let's see, another question here. People helps out. Let's see. Sorry to ask again, but I need to leave a min. Going away for your birthday. Happy birthday, Chonky. Future, I know the no joke doesn't like wet feet. Is it okay to use a sip or water base, a cell water base, a wick? I wonder if it's wicking or sip containers. That's kind of like bottom feeding, butt chugging. That's what that is. Yeah, that will work fine if it's able to kind of drink on its own. Like I use the AutoPot system. Cool thing about the AutoPot system is as it drinks the water, it's not equally filling it. Like there's a float valve in there. So with the AutoPot system, it's actually going to drink down to a certain point and then it will refill the water. So it's not, while it does have access to the water the whole time, it's not constantly with an elevated water table, which can cause the soil to be a little bit wetter, because that's going to wick it up. Capillary action is why SIP systems, bottom feeding, butt chugging, AutoPots, wicks, that's why that works. The capillary action are the roots. It will uptake that water and bring it into the soil. It's kind of crazy if you have one of these systems to... I always like to go through and look at my root zones after I harvest, because it tells me a lot about, first of all, did I pick the right size of the pot for the duration of the vegetative cycle I was using? Or if you're in auto flowers, it's like, am I using the right size of pot? Because I can take a look at the roots. Is it completely root bound? Do I need a bigger pot? Or am I growing like an auto in a 10-gallon pot and I'm got a lot of loose dirt? I'm barely seeing, high concentration areas of roots. So wasted space, wasted soil, wasted material, or maybe you need to go bigger and you might actually get better yield. So looking at your root zone, definitely beneficial. But when I looked at one of my AutoPots once, I had harvested, but I left it in there and I didn't turn the water valve off. Now the roots were still uptaking water. That's why, like, if you ever like cut a branch, or as soon as you harvest, if you leave it sitting in the soil and there's water in there, sometimes you'll see little water beads come up. don't leave it in there because that usually will mold over. But you know what I'm talking about. So the roots were still sucking it up. And I just like went to look at my root zone and it was mud. Like I could squeeze the soil and water would come out, which is what they call field capacity. Might be something that you guys have heard when it comes to watering and, you know, the appropriate water levels. Because, and again, it depends on the medium. I'm talking kind of soil here, not so much cocoa, but soil. Well, cocoa too, but either way, you want oxygen and water in the root zone. So it's about finding that sweet spot. That's why a lot of professional or commercial operations use like drip systems or hose fed, because it is better for the plants. Or you can, you know, crop steer, you can drive growth faster, harder, better by giving it more frequent waterings with less amount, versus coming in, which most of us home growers do, is you come in like once a day, you get your water bucket, boom, you're done. So I was surprised to see that. And that's where field capacity comes in, is when the water is so soaked that gravity will pull it down through the bottom. That's field capacity. And you always want to be on this side of the line of field capacity. You don't want to be able to grab the soil, squeeze it, and get drips. That means it's too wet, not enough oxygen in there. The root zone will suffer. It will affect nutrient uptake, usually like magnesium, phosphorus, or is it potassium? I think it's phosphorus, the purple one, the one that makes it go purple. Sorry, brain fart there, guys. I'm looking at the chat for more questions now. Let's see here. What else did I have on my notes today? Oh yeah, got a new show coming up. Let me see if I find any questions here though real quick. Sorry guys, I'm scrolling down. Hopefully you're enjoying the day, enjoying the show. Looks like you guys are having fun in chat. Grumpy Toad, I have not, but again, chat, this is why we're here. We help each other. We can learn faster by sharing our knowledge. If 10 of us share what we did on one grow and those results, that's like 10 grows for somebody who doesn't have access. So that's why I'm putting this one up here. Grumpy Toad, has anyone tried Microbe Life Hydroponics Dechlorinator, considering over RO? Grumpy Toad, are you running DWC? How are you growing? I'm actually going to be trying some DWC for cannabis here. I've done it for veggies plenty, but cannabis, not so much. But I'm going to give it a shot. Again, I want to be able to answer some questions. I'm going to be testing a new product, so that's important to me. So I'm going to be giving it a shot. DWC Hydroponics, that stuff tends to be faster growing, higher yielding. But the caveat is, it's typically grown synthetically, and the soil nerds will say that it doesn't taste nearly the same. That's another thing I will find out for myself, because I will be able to grow side by side the Westport grape juice in soil like I'm used to, like I always know it is, and I'll be able to grow it in DWC. Same environment, same light, different nutrients, because one will be... Actually, I should get those and talk about those. Yeah, let me do that real quick. Hold on. I'll do that real quick, you guys. I'm going to get some new nutrients, because if you guys saw, so the last episode, or with my cheese grow, I was growing organically. I was growing in KIS Organics. It was the first time that I grew that plant. Wasn't really familiar with the feeding of it, so I, top dressed, which again, with organics, things typically take 2 to 3 weeks before they're really ready. The nutrients are plant available. And I ran out of nutrients with about 4 weeks left to go. So giving it, or 3 weeks, giving it a bunch of the organic top dressing that I typically have, it would really be start to working at the time when I wanted to start reducing nutrients in the plant and in the soil. So I just let it go, and that's fine. It finished off. But Rooted Leaf, and I'm trying some of this stuff, Rooted Leaf Agritech. I'm very familiar with Nick. He has been around for years, talking about the different solutions he has. And Solar Rain was one of the flagship products for him. It's a foliar spray. So kind of like when you start seeing magnesium deficiencies, you would just spray the stuff on. But the thing about the different products, and he sent me the whole line here, so I'll be playing around with them soon. Again, with the Westport grape juice, something I'm intimately familiar with. I know what its profile should be, and I know how it should grow. That's a great control plant for me to use testing a lot of different things. But he sent it to me, and one of the big advantages and how this actually would have benefited me then is, although these are organic ingredients, like this one actually has humic acid in it, fermented plant material, a bunch of words I can't even pronounce, but they're all like hippie good stuff. Chandrius crispus, Beta vulgaris, Camellius, and that's why I didn't try to pronounce them in the first place. These are organic ingredients, but they're immediately plant available. And, seeing that last video, that last grow, this could have come in handy. So I'm going to be giving these a shot. Now, a lot of them are foliars, like this Solar Rain. This is a foliar application only. And foliar applications are great because it immediately goes to the plant. It's immediately in the plant tissue. That's why you typically see faster results. So it's good to help turn a plant around, but it's not the ultimate solution, because the problem began in the soil. Maybe it was a lack of nutrients. Maybe it was the nutrients are locked out because of antagonistic relationships. Another good way to say that is because they were out of balance in the soil. Watering causes these things too. Ultimately, you need to fix the problem in the soil to continue going forward with a healthy plant. But products like these, the foliar applications, that's great, because if the root's having a hard time uptaking it right now, until you can correct that problem, those nutrients aren't getting to the plant tissue. But if you foliar spray, immediately available to the plant tissue. So this would have been good. That would have helped me out. I appreciate that. Flora Jen, thank you very much. She says, big fan of the Seed Collector Show. Looking forward to the next one, which is a fantastic segue into, geez, I need to give away another pair of beans here in a second. I like your question. What about Bob? I'll put that up here in a second. Let me go back to it. Back to the seed collectors. So looking forward to the next one. The next one, and I want to do this next week because I have a couple people lined up for new episodes of Seed Collectors. It's been hard trying to get people lined up for Saturdays at 2:00. Doing my best there. So next week, we're going to have a call-in Seed Collector show. I thought it would be fun if we do just like open lines. I'll put a link in the top of the chat at the beginning of the show. I will go through some of, my seeds. I'll show you, or maybe you guys can help me select what I'm going to pop next, because I'm starting to do more pheno hunts. So that show will be next week, next Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 on the East Coast. But yeah, I'll put a link up there, and I'm looking for people to kind of call in and be like, hey, this is my favorite pack, or this is my favorite breeder. This is why, or, this is the prized one in my collection. If any of you guys are interested, or if you think that's a good idea, just let me know in chat. But I'd love to kind of just maybe be able to rapid fire some of your favorites, even if you don't have a multiverse expansion pack of seeds that you're hoarding. You may have a favorite one. So that is what it will be about next week. And then, yes, I'll be getting to filming some more live episodes of the Seed Collector Show in the very near future. Let's see here. Not sure. Again, any tips for popping old beans, the ones that have issues germinating? Dude, it really depends. There's a lot of things. I mean, scarification, because as the seeds get older, the husks get a little bit thicker. Scarification sometimes is you're scratching it. The old classic is, put a piece of sandpaper in the bottom of a matchbox, put your seeds in the matchbox, shake it all around. because it kind of thins that coat. It can allow moisture to get in there. And once the moisture finds its way into the seed, that's where the beginning of everything happens. I see a good suggestion here, medically minded, is saying fulvic acid, gibberellic acid, G3 is something you could also use. Amylase, which is basically, it's in your saliva. Suck on them for a little bit. Aspirin water, I forget what in particular it is in aspirin. I mean, try to get one without the dyes and the gel caps and anything like that, but there is something in there. Seed crackers, that's another thing. I know Mr. Toad sells like a little seed cracker, which basically is giving it a head start in life. It's just, it's very gentle. You wind it down, then you hear the little pop and that seam opens. Like, okay. And then you could put in your water or whatever. And if there is enough like viable energy in that embryo, it has an easy way for that taproot to come out and to grow. But that doesn't always mean that it will. I've got some old ones that I've been trying to pot for years. They're kind of on the shelf now until I can find something that's better, something that's going to work. The whole tissue culture germplasm stuff is very expensive. It's not necessarily, available or in my price range. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for. But those are 5 different methods you can give a shot. The scarification, the gibberellic acid, the fulvic acid, aspirin, and the bean crack. So hopefully maybe one of those 5 will help you there. Wind frost. This is this is something I see come up here. Actually, I'm gonna enter on the other page here the next giveaway here real quick. That's a pretty easy one and fitting for me. So we're gonna give away here before I get into this question and the other question, and I got some more stuff to cover. Give away another pack of the Westport Posse. Again, US only, please. I'll be able to send to you. You get these, the Westport's Posse. They're feminized beans. They are from the Westport grape juice. They are S1s. And I've got a grow video. I've got all the documentation and info you need about them. Always feel free to ask me questions. But if you are interested in trying to grow these out or wanting to win a pack, just go ahead and in chat right now, just type party on. Party on, Wayne. Party on, win, right? You see how I did that? You see how I connected that? I'm on it today. So Winfrost has asked, has anyone ever tried grafting cannabis for longer production or hardier buds? Yes, people have tried this. And yes, you can be successful doing it, but it is pure novelty. There is no commercial benefit. There's not a really useful application for it, but it's fun. And I like to experiment too. So absolutely, give it a shot. And this technique comes a lot from traditional agriculture. Apples, well, all fruit trees really, but apples is where I really got my start with it, and most experience with it is grafting, because apple growers don't grow from seed. We get such a wide variance in it. The whole breeding world over there is so much different than the cannabis world. Like it's different. But yeah, so nobody goes from seed in the apple world. They all use what is called rootstock, and rootstock was from a seed at one point, but it's basically a really healthy root system, and it's a really healthy trunk, something that's vigorous, something that has like the right feeding. And then what people do is they will graft on different kinds of apples, or you can even mix fruits sometimes. Grafting is where you're kind of cutting a branch, and maybe when you guys are all harvesting a freshly like watered plant, you'll get that like little like layer that peels away, and then you have the slimy kind of like core of the stem, if that makes sense to anybody. But it's the cambium layer. So if you peel that back and then you graft it, and you basically cut things that, I gotta balance this, so if they're at an angle and you graft it together and then you tape it, they will actually start growing together. And now that branch growing that particular type of apple is being fed and growing off of that rootstock. The rootstock there does not affect the expression of the apple. So in the case of cannabis, it's like if you took a rootstock of OG and you grafted a Tangy on it, would it be like a Tangy OG? No, it wouldn't, it shouldn't, but always fun to try, always fun to experiment, and let's go for it, man. That's why I said party on. And wood are grafts and fibers are seeds. Cirrus, right on. Let's see here. Always hard to find the questions after I say, yeah, we're going to do a giveaway. Grumpy Toad, I remember in the 70s, people trying to graft cannabis and hops because they are the closest related plant species. They're both Cannabaceae family. There's, in the plant world, again, it's like traditional agriculture, botany versus cannabis. Cannabis is its own little like lingo. It's basically the slang world of normal botany. But hops, yeah, so there's like genus, kingdom, species, etc. on down. They're cousins. They're related. I do not know of a successful cannabis to hops graft, but I'm sure there's a mad scientist somewhere figuring that one out. But that's I could see that making sense. Hops is really high in myrcene as well. So is cannabis. That's one common connection. Let me go back to, let's see here. What about Bob's question? He says, what came first, healthy plant or healthy soil? Good question. But a plant can't grow in bad, well, it can grow in bad soil. Damn it, that kills my analogy here. But it's the healthy soil that fosters the growth. So a healthy plant needs healthy soil. Healthy plants don't really exist in bad soil. They can grow in bad soil, but they don't really thrive, or definition of healthy. So I think healthy soil is, where it starts. And that's maybe why, a lot of people, particularly organic growers, put a lot of preparation into their soil mixes. They will add their ingredients because a lot of times some of these ingredients are what they would call hot. They need to kind of cool down or chill out in the soil for a few weeks. And so that's all part of the process. And composting, again, turning your pile, that's a big part of it. But some of the nutrients, again, while they may not burn the plants once they're chilled and settled down, manure is probably the best example of it. I'm thinking like chicken manure, the urea. Man, if you get that straight from the chicken butt, it's going to burn your plants. But if you compost it and let it chill for a while, great. It makes great food for the plants. Manure is one of those tricky ones. There's a thing called hot compost, which urea, chicken, would be a perfect example. And there's also like cold compost. Alpaca and rabbits probably being the first two that come to my mind. They're popular. Like you could straight from the butt put that on your plants in the soil and it's not going to harm them. But that's cold. So cold manure and hot manure. Good to know of those two things and ask those two things, or at least consider those two things before you go adding your ingredients into the soil. Or just, let it cool down. David, he heard of that many years ago. Yes, Hobbit, party on, Garth. So it was funny when I was working in the dispensary. That was the first time I was getting the Wayne World comparisons. I wasn't quite sure which one I was at first, and then I realized I was Garth. All right, that's fine. I'll be Garth. But I like it. I actually was in Astoria for my wife's birthday this past week. Anybody over 40 might be familiar with Dinosaur Jr. It was a great band, a band that inspired like Nirvana. So it was kind of like grunge almost. I failed to classify it, but the lead singer, guitar player, Jay Massis, like if you Google him right now, you're probably going to see me. Not really, but the likeness is uncanny. And we walked into this fun little spot. It's called Blue Scorchers in Astoria. It's a great little hippie freaking place to get like breakfast stuff, coffee, teas, whatever. I got a hot chocolate. But we were in there and we're lying and we walk in and this guy just like smiles at me. And I smile back. You can tell when someone's like, oh, I never know. I get confused for a lot of people many times. That's just what I tell myself because I get weird interactions. But anyways, a couple seconds later, he's like, I got to ask, man, you ever hear of a band Dinosaur Jr.? And I just started laughing because I know where he's going with this. And we talked for a second, but then he was kind of like, yeah, man, I actually thought it was you first. Or I thought you were him for a second. So that was kind of a fun one. I've moved on from being Garth, from being Gandalf, to now I am just Jay Mascis from Dinosaur Jr., which I will gladly take that one because great band, good music. I will take it. Let's see. Holla's got the best beard in show business. I swear, man. If you go, I was in his chat the other day and I said, dude, you make the Zigzag Man blush with that beard. Because you do. We said, Chad, if he quit trimming his beard, he could still be tasting that hot chocolate. Yeah. Dude, that's where the walrus comes in. I mentioned the walrus the other day to somebody, and they're like, oh, yeah, it's just where it like overgrows the lip too much to where anything you sip, taste, eat, flavor savor. But that's probably too much information. And that was only because I was on vacation. I didn't have anything to trim up the that area there. Yeah, this and Magpie's in. He knows. He says Holla's beard grows 1 inch per day. Factually, I wouldn't doubt it. Again, he makes him bluff. Let's see here. Good question here from Roots and Music. Says, give thanks for the vibes. Any recommendations when growing a plant for seeds as far as finishing in the flower stage? So I'll answer this question and then we'll give those seeds away. And then I'll do a little bit more talking and then we'll give more seeds away because in 1 hour YouTube be joining the Last Prisoner Project chatathon on the Let's Be Buds YouTube channel. It's a great thing. I'll talk about that in a sec. But yeah, let's answer this question before we give away the Westport Posse second pack. Growing plants at seed as far as finishing in the flowering stage. So one thing you typically don't do with flower that you're finishing is feed it a lot of nitrogen in the flowering cycle. You typically taper that off and cut it out towards the very end. When you're going for seeds, keep it regular. I almost say just pretty much feed like you were in veg. You don't want to cut on anything because phosphorus and potassium, your P and the K, those are still needed. I believe it's the phosphorus that really helps with the seed development. Again, I'll have to go back and reference the James Loud, the Cannabis Breeding book, because I probably checkmark the page it's on. But yeah, go and just feed it kind of like you were in veg. And my biggest tip or my biggest question about finishing flower that has been seeded is a lot of people are curious about timing. Like, how long do I take it? Seeds will typically mature in 6 to 8 weeks from when it was pollinated. Now, I typically run 8-week strains. Those strains aren't getting pollinated till between week 2 and week 3. So let's just say week 3. So if my 8-week strain is pollinated in week 3, I don't harvest it on the 8th week because really that's only 5 weeks from when it was pollinated. It is okay to let those plants keep going. And whenever I do a seeded run, the seeds are my priority. So I'm not really looking at the flower as something that, I'm trying to like preserve, or that's not my focus. Again, my focus is on nice, well-developed, healthy seeds. So I'll let it go extra long. Usually, again, on my 8-week strains, they usually go 11 weeks total because there's that 3-week offset where it wasn't pollinated. So that's the biggest question I usually get about finishing in the flowering stage. Hopefully that helps answer the question. I will be flipping through chat here to find some more. But let me go ahead and get this giveaway tool going. Let's see here. Grumpy Toad. I hope so. I did see posts from him lately. Bud and Lather, I still wear the shirt. Love the soap. Manny. Yeah, I believe he is still around. I just saw him post recently on IG. So maybe a different account to connect with or a different email. I know he may have gotten, tisked from the Instagram police. So we'll find out. Okay, there are 168 of you in here now. So there we go. I like that. 168 of you. Come on, one more. One more. Help the immature child inside of me reach 169. Could you? I will type it in there if nobody does in a second because there, 170. Damn, we blew right past the 69. There's a joke in there somewhere. But okay, let's go ahead and good luck, everybody. US only. This is for a pack of those Westport posses. Kaboom. Let's see who gets it today. Second pack of the day, T-Flow. That's hopefully how most people pronounce your name, is just that whole T-Flow. Maybe it's just me, but yeah. Congratulations. And thanks for listening and thanks for participating. Congratulations. Just hit me up. You and Moss. Moss, I know you can get a hold of me, but on Instagram, on IG, my Instagram is down in the show notes. I believe it is chad.westport. You can hit me up there, get your info, and I will get those sent out. They're already packed and ready to go, which is always awesome. And then coming up soon here, we will do the At Some of Bitch Seeds. We'll do those here in just a minute. I wanted to get to a couple other things here. Anthony, I see a good question in here. It says, what show made you want to visit Mexico? No show in particular. First time we went, my wife's friend had a villa down there, and we went for her birthday with a bunch of her friends, and that was my first time to Mexico. I was over 40. I never went there in my life. I knew from an early age, like, oh my gosh, there's a ton of stuff to do in Mexico. But I was about to say, I'm not a drinker, so I never went down there when I was younger. But this time it was a different friend. She was going to England for a month and asked if we could house sit. They had a house. I made a video on the channel if you guys watch that with some of the Mayan ruins, but you also kind of get to see the house there. It's right there on the water, beach. It was freaking awesome. So that's why we went. That's what made us want to go to Mexico. Syntax has a question here. It says, any concerns with moving an outdoor plant suffering in Michigan weather? Yep. During flower to indoor under 400 HPS. First concern would be bringing in anything from the outside, whether that be bugs, whether that be spores. Maybe they're alive and on the plant. Maybe they are actually in the soil itself. Those are kind of the immediate concerns. And one way to kind of circumnavigate that is quarantine. If you're able to quarantine it away from other plants that you may have inside, or if this is the only plant that you have inside, that reduces the concerns a lot, because even if it does have something, you're not spreading it to the rest of your garden. I would try to acclimate it a little bit as far as root zone temperature goes. Kind of slowly, when you bring it in, kind of slowly bring it up to the normal room temperature where you would have it. I wouldn't want to shock the root zone too much by going from like really cold to all of a sudden like, oh my gosh, I got to heat it up. I got a heater blowing right on it. That could cause some problems. But aside from that, just again, kind of the quarantine issues, no real concerns coming to the top of my head. In chat, anybody, if you guys have some extras, do tell, because I know you may have some. Again, I'm not an outdoor grower, but I have access to enough outdoor growers where I get to ask them questions and see what their experience is. And I'm an observational person. I'm an observant's the word, observant person. So, and I like to ask why a lot. And that's super important, is asking why. I always say smart people ask questions, and I'll stick to it. So let's see, is Levels in here? Levels, yeah, I see Levels in here. LFG, and again, big shout out Levels for sending a lot of people over to support on the James Loud show last Sunday. Saw all your people showing up in chat saying Levels sent me, so big ups, and I appreciate that. I shouted out at the front of the show, but I see you now, so just wanted to mention that again. Now, one other thing I want to do too is tell you guys about a new show coming up on this channel. This is probably the last episode of the Best Grow show. As much as I love that title, and that title was purely algorithm inspired, weirdly enough, if you put the word best in front of something, it tends to promote your stuff a little bit better. So, secret, but it does. So I did that, and it has been working. But I hope and think that a lot of you will continue to watch the new show on the channel, just because I want, with the Best Grow show, I had, so Future Cannabis Project and the FCPO2 channel, I've started doing home grow centric shows over 3 years ago. And if you go to the Future Cannabis Project channel and the FCPO2 channel, if you click playlists on either one, you will see I have hundreds of videos up there. And a lot of my focus has always, again, been home grow. And I wanted to allow people to show their gardens. So years ago, I started inviting people on, 3 guests every show. We showed their gardens. We talked about what I liked about it, what they would change, what other people saw as pretty cool that they didn't know of, and so on. So there's a lot of that out there now. There's a lot of, these types of grow shows. Good because it's needed, good because people need a place to show their grows, and good because, again, you can get feedback from such a wide range of people that it's purely beneficial. But I also kind of feel like for me, like that it has kind of run its course as far as having people on, showing different plants. We're obviously still going to be showing plants, talking plants. There's going to be a lot more of that. But for like right now, my computer is, dang it, it's chipping. It won't let me get to it. No. Oh my God. What happened? Oh, okay. Yay. I think I figured it out. Maybe. My color. I like green, damn it. There we go. Okay. So yeah, this may be the last grow show or the Best Grow show. We're still going to be talking plants, but what I wanted to do is focus more on the people like you in chat, the people who are really driving the cannabis community forward, the people who are the heart and the soul of cannabis. So I was going to start with the show. It's called The Heart of Cannabis, because I want to talk to people who are the heart of cannabis. And that could be the home growers, that could be breeders, that could be commercial people who are really passionate for the plant, people who really love it. And so The Heart of Cannabis, that was going to be the new name of the show. And I reached out to good buddy Rasta Jeff because I have a new design and I wanted to run it by him because I use similar colors. But I also realized he has the Grow From Your Heart podcast. And so I reached out to him. I said, well, I don't want to maybe confuse anybody. I mean, the colors are similar and it has the word heart in it. And he's like, yeah. And we both have long hair. You're kind of like the good brother stepchild or something. I forget what it was. So I'm like, you know what? That might cause a little confusion. So what we're going to do, the new show is called Real Cannabis. And I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you become a part of it because you guys have inspired it. And the first guest that I'm going to have is going to be Ames High Cannabis. That's going to be on the 30th. I did an interview with him recently on his channel. And there's a lot of people out there who again, may not want to be the authority educator, but they also have a lot of good advice to offer, and they have a lot of passion and spark to give to people. That's what the new show is going to be about. Real cannabis, talking to the real people who really love it with the real soul. So this is going to be the new show, and we're starting at episode 173. Again, I have hundreds of shows specifically on this home grow topic, but as a shout out to my boy, Mr. Jeff P., 173 is the number we're starting with. So yeah, this may be the best grow show, but we'll see how that algorithm treats me. Do I need to go back to using the word best just to get views? I hope not. Hopefully real cannabis will be good enough. I know you guys are down. I hope you guys will enjoy it. So yep, shout out makes episode 173. Yeah, that's a shout out to Jeff P right there. Because again, I could go through and count and probably be like episode 200 and something. But now I'm just going to make it simple and I'm going to make it fun. Because again, this guy, he is part of that heart. So the heart of cannabis, that'll be the new show. And that'll be starting on November 30th. Episode 173, buddy. Yep, you got it. So, okay, so there's that. What else did I have? I want to give away one more pack of beans. Looking at my notes here. Okay, so Black Friday deals. Black Friday is coming up, guys. The best 2 times of year to buy grow equipment is Black Friday and the 420, the week around that. That's when the sales happen. That's when they're going on. I posted up some discount codes. If you go to my website, you will also see discount codes there. Let's see. Actually, let me just go to the website right now. Pulling up my website. All right. So here, if you go to chadwestport.com, this is the website. This is kind of what it looks like. If you guys want to find strain, the different strains from Twin Peaks, you can find them all here. And as you scroll down, slow loading page, Chud, the Westport Posse. Like if you want to find, again, here's the phenos, the profiles that you can expect. And then No Joke, which is the new one right here. Again, available in the store now. You can kind of read a little bit about it, the parents, the phenos, how it grows, the profiles, outdoor notes, and effects. So you could get them all here. But the reason I went to this page is so work. You can find my writing there. You find links to different videos here. But discount codes, this is the page that I meant to go to. So we've got the discount codes here for AC Infinity, for AutoPot, for Real Growers, and for Spider Farmer. So if you guys want discount codes for those for Black Friday, just go ahead and hit those up. It's pretty much just Westport on all of them. Spider Farmer is the different one. Spider Farmer, that's Westport 420. Grumpy Toad, were the No Joke testers femmes? Yes, No Joke are femmes. So let's see here. Okay, so going back to the page real quick. So work, that's where you can find it. This is the website a little bit. The store, if you guys want to check that out, again, the No Joke is available in there. Got the No Jokes, the Westport's Posse, a couple t-shirts, a couple of my favorite books, some trading cards and postcards. You guys can check that out if you want. And then the info page, really, this is where you'll find links to my writing. The ILGM, the Sensi Seeds, the Skunk Magazine, A Pot for Pot. You'll find these all here. And I was going to go through some of the articles listed, but we're running short on time, so we'll just skip that for today. But yeah, go over and check those out. Save yourself some money. Yeah. Let's see. Just trying to read chat. Let me unshare this. Okay. So Black Friday deals. Yep. Discount codes. No jokes available. Perfect. Let me get to this last giveaway then. Okay. So last giveaway again. And this is US only, please. If you are the winner, just hit me up on Instagram and we'll get those shipped out to you right away. Chapter X. You know you're going to have to eventually make a collection set that comes with a genuine lock of hair. For this, I imagine many would pay upwards of $1,000. The Gandalf collection may need to happen. It may be sealed and tied with my hair. Just as long as you don't CRISPR me and turn me into, I don't know, clones. Brandon, good question here. Did you pick up anything on your Mexico trip? I did. I grabbed some different beans. I had plenty of flour to smoke while I was there. It was enjoyable. It was above headache weed, but it wasn't the tastiest stuff either. Didn't really taste bad, but didn't really have a taste. And when you're used to smoking what you're smoking, yeah, so it did come with seeds. Yay, me! And those did come back with me. So I've got some stuff to go through from this trip that smelled skunky. I'm going to be digging through that. So in probably about a year, maybe 2, you might start hearing a lot more about that, because that's going to be at least the amount of time it's going to take me to start looking, to maybe find something, and then kind of confirm and work with. But yes, Dave, good to see you, buddy. Always good to see you. No public hair. Yes, I will not put public hair in there. I will make sure to do that. Yes, industry sellout. Thank you. No CRISPR for Chad. Chad Army, red rope licorice, beware. I seriously did almost buy a Pinto once because it was really cheap, just to put that licorice rack in the top. It would have been great, but I was young. I was a teen. I didn't have the extra like $500 or whatever dollars it was going to cost me. So that dream, unfortunately, has gone unrealized. But that might be an excellent freaking word for this last giveaway. I am going to use that. Thank you for the inspiration. So this last giveaway, guys, this is for a pack of the Summa Bitch seeds, and I will put up the Instagram here. And again, this has been a long-time supporter of the show, a long-time sponsor. We have given away hundreds of beans from Summa Bitch. Trying to find it here. I got to scroll. I just had it up earlier. There it is. Okay, so I had Summa Bitch seeds on Instagram. And again, this was the tester regs. It is the Seed Junkie Male Purple Punch times Jungle Cake crossed with Dad Stuff 1987. Oh, I finally got it to focus. Yeah. So that's what you're going to be winning here as far as beans go. And the little bonus to go with that is for Duke Diamond, the Dominion Seed Co., the Jeweler's Loop. Again, this thing, a super handy tool in the garden. You open it up and it has the different magnifications right on it. So actually, I'll flip it to your side. 60, 30, and 90, I believe. It does come with the LED and the black light and batteries to turn it on. So, as I drop it, don't worry. This is my personal one. Yours comes in a nice fancy box. So I didn't just drop yours. All right. So let me put up the page. And again, guys, this is US only. But please go give Summa Bitch Seeds some love over on Instagram as well. All right, US only. Pinto is the word. Go ahead and type in Pinto into the chat, and I will let this run for just a couple minutes, and then we will give away this last stack of seeds. And again, if you guys are wondering, again, one more time, my website, chadwestport.com. Go and check it out. That's where you can pick up gear from myself. That's where you can find writing, find a whole bunch of stuff. Cool. I found my discount codes. Westport. Spider Farmer is Westport 420, and you can use it on I'm getting banner happy. Okay, and Westport, again, on the Real Growers website. You can use that for recharge. You could use that for the grow dots. You could use that for the real buckets. but anything on the realgrowers.com website. And again, Real Growers, that may recharge, that may strike a bell for you guys. The DGC fans will know, but that's Scotty Real from the DGC giving it up. So you can save 10% on anything on that website as well. Just use Westport as your coupon code. So let me figure out how to hit the button to take that off. There we go. All right. Let's see. I love Dave. Dave, I'm getting a lot of questions about seed collector shows, and your hands are sorely missed. And I'm getting ready to film some new ones. And I think we all would really love it if you were there, buddy, even if you were just there to give us thumbs up. So let's get the band back together, man. Let's talk. I'd love to try to revive that one with you, because it's not the same without you, okay? Louis Ortiz, can we enter more than once? You can type it more than once, but fortunately, this StreamYard tool only will take one entry from each name. So that's another reason why I like this tool. Kind of keeps it fair versus the spammers who just go in and type it a whole bunch. If they type it in correct once, it will enter them and it will enter you. And it tries to keep it as fair as possible. I don't know a better way right now. So that's it. Let's see here. Yep, Galaxy Solution says it only counts one time. This is true. Good question here. Chad, when are you going to cross Westport's posse to the James Loud permanent midnight so we can get high school high again? Yeah, buddy. They're both feminized, so I would have to reverse one, but I would be curious to see what it does. I would be curious to see which is dominant over the other, what comes through in the other places. It would kind of just be for my own curiosity and passion project for the first few generations until I'm able to kind of select something and then take it in my own direction away from what, James has created. Dude, I'd be interested. That permanent freaking marker or permanent midnight, dude, that stuff was sensational. Like, it left a lasting impression. I could still see it. I can still smell it. I know what it was like in the jars. I'm putting my money down. I'm not even asking to be like, hey, bro, could you hook me up? No, like, take my money, please. That is a good one. So, yeah, happy to pay for that. But it'll be interesting. And if you guys tune in to next Saturday's show, again, the live seed collectors, the call-in episode, you'll see what I have in my drawer right now, what I am balancing on what gets popped next. So you might be able to influence me. You might be able to help. I have a bunch of James Loud stuff in there, actually, and I want to do an entire tent of James Loud stuff, but I don't think I'm at a space to dedicate an entire tent right now because I have some things that, I need to test the new that I was talking about. So I need to test that myself before I give it out to my first wave of testers. John and Ty are the zero wave of testers. They always get it first go when I get it too. I'd like to start searching through some of those Mexican beans too, but I also have legit work that I want to hunt because I'm looking for a good male. So yeah, next Saturday, 2 p.m., you guys can be a part of that. And again, I said it was the live call-in show, live seed collector show. I'll put the link in chat. I would love if you guys have a favorite pack or a favorite breeder to come on and tell us about it and share with the world and the rest of the community a new breeder that they may not have heard of, somebody that you have experience with. And Anthony saying, reverse them both. Yeah, I could. That would be interesting. Again, it's sometimes like if you reverse one and you cross it and you see what you get, maybe completely different if you cross the other and then went that way with it. That's the fun. That's the beauty about working with plants. So let me see where we're at right now. 155 entries. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we'll wrap this up here. I want to let everybody know in 30 minutes time, I will be over on the Let's Be Buds YouTube channel. They are in the middle of a 12-hour chatathon raising funds for the Last Prisoner Project. So when you're done here, if everybody goes over to Let's Be Buds, tell them Westport sent you. But that's a great place where you can hang out all day with other like-minded individuals, and you'll be able to, help out the cause or learn more about the cause. Last Prisoner Project does some good things, helping nonviolent cannabis offenders out of jail, out of the jam they're in with their legal system. They're far from perfect. They can't help everybody. They help a select few, but one is enough. So yeah, go and check that out. Let's Be Buds YouTube channel. I'll be over there in a half hour with Jeremy, I think. Jeremy from Grove Bags. We'll be talking about all of that jazz. Hey, Mr. Toe, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you in here. What is in your cup? Mr. Chad, right now, I need to reload Chog. Chog is what I called it. This was a personal one for me. This is something that I brought back from Amsterdam that showed very minor intersex traits. So it's not anything that I worked with, but it's something that I kind of really enjoy. So I grow it for the head stash. I actually discontinued it maybe 6 or 8 months ago. Again, I've narrowed down what I'm keeping to make room for new things that I'm searching for. I want to go through some new stuff. I want to look for some new stuff, but I have my, 2 keepers right now are the Westport grape juice and the Kool-Aid Man. But yeah, this is what's in my cup right now. So Chog, and I got it. It was supposed to be a cheese, but it was the best OG I've ever smoked in my life. So I gave it the name of Chog, the cheese OG. But yeah, that's just a personal head stash type of thing. It never went anywhere, but my wife loves it, which is why I busted it out earlier, and I have it here with me now. So hopefully you are smoking something good as well. Let's see here. All right, I could get distracted by chat all day because you guys are awesome, but I know you guys want me to give away this last pair of beans and the jeweler's loops, and I hope you guys look forward to the new show, Real Cannabis, episode 173. Again, that one's going to start November 30th with Ames High Cannabis. Again, I just want to highlight the people and the real ones. Whether you're big, whether you're small, it doesn't matter. People who have a passion for this plant and who want to see others succeed and want to help others do good and do better, that's real cannabis. So those are the people you're going to be hearing from. All right, enough of me. 167. Oh, see, we're at 167 again. Can we get 169, 168? Hopefully it doesn't skip over it directly to 70 this time. I'm just going to sit here for one more second to see what happens. Because again, my immature self is really hoping it gets to 169. Hey, 169. Here we go. Good luck, everybody. US only. Here we go. The winner is Joseph Houghton. Right on. Joseph, if you are in the US, please get a hold of me on Instagram. My Instagram is down in the show notes. It is chad.westport. That's where you guys can find me. But please, Joseph, hit me up, and I will make sure that you get the Son of a Bitch and Duke Pack. Booyah! So thank you guys for tuning in today, and thank you all for the support that you give me, you give this channel, and you give the community. It is appreciated, it is seen, and creates a better place for us all. So keep doing what you guys are freaking doing. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. And again, if you want to hang out some more, just go over to the Let's Be Buds YouTube channel and join that 12-hour chatathon raising funds for the Last Prisoner Project. and told them Westport sent you. So I'll see you guys in the future. We'll be giving away more beans, more seeds, getting people growing. Y'all rock, man. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. And I think that's the part where I say, party on.
1, 2, Westport!